Unmute that. That seems to be working. Wow. Ah, that's why. Okay. Yeah, cool. Neat. Right, off we go. Hey, Mechanical Fluff, how's it going? And welcome to yet another day. Oh, yeah, I still auto-host Soviet Wombi. I forget what he's playing lately. I haven't checked. Hey, I haven't managed to coax him into our Discord yet, but someday. Sora and Carpe, how's it going, guys? Hope I'm not too loud. I think I have things adjusted, but we'll find out. All right, here we are. Sorry for the late start, guys. I had some personal issues I had to take care of. And got that squared away. So, we can continue with our adventures unmolested by reality.
Beluga missile
Oops.
installed. Firelance missile installed. Winds temp. Beluga Firelance missile installed.
Okay, so I need to remember what the hotkeys are. Got it.
You are talking?
No asteroid data. Screw you. Alright, plenty of gas. Hey, troubleshooter. Yeah, that's a good point. It's, it is streaming 1080p now. It should be 7K, but I'll take 6. How does it look? Let's see if we have any little ships. Xenon N. I just want to see. A Jaguar. Another Jaguar. And a Kestrel. We're going to go get that Kestrel. Kestrels are useful. Actually, I think center of the sector.
10%, 20, 30, 40, 50%, 60.
Oh, good. Good.
70.
Well, I'm glad it's legible now. I've been recording everything at 1080, so the uploads to YouTube are legible.
Entering system.
Blech.
Third redemption.
No. Shit. Oh, right. The game froze. That's why. It's like, well, my hotkeys aren't working. I also couldn't remember some of them. It's only been a week and I've already forgotten. All right, come on. Quit having your fit. There we go.
Kestrel.
There it is. It is Shift U. I just forgot it. Well, Stream Elements isn't part of Twitch. They're just some rando service. I guess the cool kids all use Streamlabs. And there's better integrations into OBS.
5 megajoule
Oops.
Kestrel. Ship computer control transferred.
I guess, especially for Extra Life, they were better integrated with Streamlabs than they were with Stream Elements. Oh, I gotcha. It's like I keep saying, man, our internet infrastructure is just turning to shit. Everything's getting slower.
Hyperion Kestrel.
So I did finally get the first bits of...
Docking
hey, I'm
granted.
gonna go to a shipyard.
Command accepted.
We're going to upgrade him, though. I don't want to get rid of him. Yeah, I got the first 11 chunks, basically the first day of live streaming, up to YouTube of this X3 playthrough. So...
Incoming message.
Oh, is it? Oh, nice. Reaperoni sold some of his shit. Let's go make him sell more shit. Okay, he doesn't have anything that's hogging lots of space anymore.
Incoming message.
Hmm? Ah. I'll get you, Tandy Tech. Just you wait. What are the missiles I was firing that are... Is it Tempest? Didn't think it was Tempest missiles. I want little guided ones that don't do much... Oh, rapiers. Right, those are my harassers. Okay. So I want some of those. I'm not going to sell the rapiers. Yeah. So somebody in Discord, I want to say it was Mechanical, mentioned there was a big purge on Twitter and Twitch and Facebook and YouTube yesterday or the day before. I know Facebook banned Trump, and Twitter banned him for 24 hours. These cocksuckers have been waiting 4 years to do that. Oh, okay, yeah.
You are talking?
What appeared to be information needed is being transmitted to you now.
10 passengers. Where are you? Oh, that's the equipment dock. Okay, well, what the hell? We'll try that mission. Yeah. I think I've said this, but like on one of my vlogs, but it should really, really scare the shit out of everybody that our private industry has now decided it's totally okay to censor the President of the United States, our highest office in this country. And Big Tech has said, yeah, fuck you. No one gets to, you don't get to talk to anybody. And it's a shitty excuse, too. Like, oh, no, social media is terrorism, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, they've been fomenting terrorism for years on the left. And now suddenly, because they get a bit spooked, it's time to clamp down. It's just pathetic.
Trade command software, special command, navigation command software, MK1.
And I guarantee you, it's not gonna go the way all the people celebrating think it's gonna go. It never does. Ever.
Command accepted.
They didn't really damage the Capitol this time, either. That whole thing was overblown anyway. You got a few hundred boomers that finally got pissed off enough to go actually try to give our elected leaders a bit of a scare. They weren't even stopped getting into the Capitol building. People talk like this was some tactical mission of terror. And it's like, no, there was a handful of federal police that basically just shit the bed when a bunch of angry people showed up, let them in, and then they stormed around Congress for a few hours and And now, probably the biggest clampdown on the internet and personal liberties in this country is already here and on its way. I don't think they even did any real damage. Oh.
5 megajoule shield.
Oh, I'm just a bit too far away. Yep, exactly.
Cargo bay now contains 5 megajoule shield.
What, it's just amazing. I wish people would pay more attention in history class, and I wish that American schools would teach competent history classes. What they're doing right now to try to silence dissent has never worked in the history of humankind. Ever.
Cargo bay now contains 5 megajoule shield.
Oh, right, yeah, that guard shooting that girl, that's atrocious. That guy should be, they should run him up the flagpole like they're doing to Kyle Rittenhouse. But yeah, in human history, trying to silence people the way they're doing now,
25 megajoule shield.
it absolutely never works. You cannot kill an idea by banning discussion of it. It's impossible. It doesn't work.
Jump device charging at 10%.
Oh, wait.
Jump aborted.
Can't do that. I have to... Oh, that mission went away. God damn it.
You are talking?
Oh, fuck you, Paranid. Oh, that's right. They did fucking trash a bunch of cameras. Now, that delighted me. We need to see more of that. I think... I'm probably... this is one of those bannable things now, apparently, in this country. But, fuck you. First Amendment says I can say this, and if you disagree, you can lick my nuts. And I'll whip them out so you can do it. The country of America was founded on the concept of government by the people at the people's discretion, with consent of the people. And we have a right, a fundamental freedom,
Asteroid.
to air our objections and speak them in public, and directly confront our leaders with grievances. The right to protest is universal. Everyone has it. And, our government is supposed to fear us. And that's a founding concept of the United States. The Constitution was written that way so that, it's clear who's in charge. It's supposed to be us. Now, I know it isn't, but...
You are talking?
I have the information.
I'm not doing patrols. Go away. Yeah, exactly. And, so, that whole thing isn't happening anymore because they've just built this monstrous bureaucracy that's just really getting too big for its britches, and one person or even a small group of people can't really fight it anymore. Ooh, an LX. I'll take that.
Jump device charging at 10%.
Yep. Tell me about it, troubleshooter. That's exactly right.
30.
And anyway, the part that I said might get me banned for saying it is the media really needs to be afraid of us too. I loved seeing all those cameras get trashed
Entering
during those
Aladna Hill.
during that peaceful protest on Thursday. I'm going to use the liberals' language against them. They want to call the riots in Portland and Seattle and all those places peaceful protests, then fine. What happened at the Capitol was a totally peaceful protest. The only person that died was a protester at the hands of our government. But, journalists and journalism media are just utterly worthless because nobody holds them to account that has any power,
Silkworm missile. L ship computer control
you know, to
transferred.
do anything about it. Eventually, Peanut, that's what's going to happen. And I'm sure that, you know, people on the left, people in government, the so-called deep state, people are absolutely chomping at the bit for conservatives to finally find their balls and actually start shooting and being as vicious with protests as the left has been. And exactly, that's what they're getting ready to do.
Hyperion.
And that's not going to go the way they think it is. It never does. Yeah, they're already eating their own too. It's a very common thing.
LX. Docking granted. Command accepted.
But it's just amazing that, you know, protesters have been doing all sorts of
Missile.
really violent shit for months, for 6 months really, and it was instrumental in essentially stealing an election. And yet, right-wingers do it once, and suddenly it's this huge terrorism thing. You know, oh my god, what horrible, evil people, we have to clamp down now. And that,
Is there something transmitting information?
80%? Do I have the money?
Ship computer control
I do.
transferred. Mercury Super Freighter XL. Command accepted.
Oh, no, I know the government shouldn't be put in charge of controlling the media. That's how you get tyranny. Legitimate tyranny, not this bullshit that SJWs like to pitch as tyranny. But I don't think they should be afforded the protections the government feeds them right now. Oh, sure. Now that Trump has shown that that sort of thing can be done, people will try it nonstop. I think, though, this the coming clampdown that you know they're going to try, I think it might actually lead to the first time in American history where a third party might just get a fighting chance to win an election somewhere. Maybe not the presidency for a while, but, you know, the Democrats have been shit for years, and they've absolutely shown their asses throughout all this.
Command accepted.
And, you know, revealed themselves to be just dictators, pure and simple. And the Republicans sort of turned on Trump kind of at the last minute. I mean, Pence was issuing orders without Trump's approval just last week, like during the Capitol thing. And it's just fucked up. So it's a soft coup. And they're talking about impeaching him again, Trump, for fucking nothing. And the reason they want to do it, and you know they'll rush it through, and since they're in charge of Congress now, they'll probably convict him. Even if it's just to kick him out of office one day early, it's to make him ineligible to run again in 2024. Because if you're impeached and removed from office, you can't run again for president. It makes you ineligible. So that's why they're talking about that shit. And
You are talking. Great encode.
and you know they're going to get away with it. But they're not going to stop the overall impression that it's all worthless and it's all falling down. Because, Congress, I think, has a single-digit approval rating. Not that they care, but it's a good indicator of American sentiment towards our government. And I think, trust in the media is at a record all-time low. So, people are just kind of fed up with all this garbage. And, when you start banning people from, what is it? Ban people from the public square, on the basis that, well, it's private, we can do what we want. And, you keep oppressing people, like actually oppressing people, you can end up with some pretty ugly results.
Jump device charging at 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50%, 60.
Well, I don't know how rational I am, but somebody's got to say it. Blech.
Entering system. Mercenaries Rift.
Well, Peanut, you say that, and that's one of those ideas that sounds really good on paper and can actually cause more problems than it's worth. Hey, Sullivan, I have not, I don't think. Negative. I'm working on it, I promise. I've got 30 million credits, so we're getting close. But the issue with... term limits are a good thing, but I think one trip through the system, like one cycle or one term, I don't think that's enough. Yeah, that's true. Dana's chance, huh? Okay, I guess I must have left a satellite somewhere floating. Those jerks. I'll get you, Xenon. Because I think if you only get to serve one term, you're going to have a bunch of inexperienced people running government. And that's... people in running government are already incompetent, but you at least want somebody... You want people in charge who know how to at least negotiate the system or navigate the system and try to work with it, or against it, and get things accomplished. And if you've got just one term to get it all figured out, they never have the chance to start getting used to how things work and start using it to their advantage. Oh, I know. I know politicians that have been there for decades that haven't done shit, or they've done dangerous or bad shit. And that's why I think term limits are good. I think it should just be more than one term, is all I'm saying. Yeah, this last election, not gonna lie, I am very disenfranchised now. This is the first time in my life I've ever seriously considered not voting in the next election. Because I know that my vote was stolen. And they cheated, and
computer control
it's absolutely
transferred.
disgusting. Oh, well, in my job, I'm probably going to be learning how things work for probably the next 6 months. It's just one of those... It's just a, fairly complex job, but...
Scorpion.
No, I see what you mean, though.
Hyperion.
There definitely should be term limits. I just don't think
Scorpion.
one is adequate. 2 would be fine. Your first term, you learn the ropes, you start getting things done, and then after that, your second term, you better know your shit. Let's see. Oh, right, troubleshooter. It's a complex question, or an answer, and that's why it's been kind of ignored in the media. Well, that and the media completely agrees with the outcome, so naturally they're not gonna, they don't want to rock the boat.
Hauler.
Wow, that's all the way out. Where's that gate? Where's that Harrier? Huh, okay.
Jump device charging at 10%. 20.
Bleh. Okay, so
Mercenaries Rift.
in the United States, each individual state is responsible for running its own elections when it comes to electing the president. And what happens is the states each have a fixed number of what they call electors. And those people, it's like, between 3 and electoral votes, basically. It's between 3 and 60 based on population. So that's why the big states like California, Texas, New York, and I want to say, what's the other big one? There's 4. Is it what? It's fucking New York, California, Texas, and one other big one that's got a shit ton of population. They get a fuck ton of electoral votes. And if you win all 4 of those states, you come pretty close to just winning the election, period. But anyway, each state and its electors, so the states run their own elections, and the electors then vote in the electoral college, it's called, to supposedly to reflect the will of the people in their state. Some electors in some states are bound by law to vote the way that their constituents voted. So if candidate X gets the majority vote or gets the most votes, then all the electors in that state are required by law to vote for that candidate in the electoral college. And in other states, and in some states like that, it's all or nothing. So there's no concept of proportionality. So if candidate X wins by 1 vote, he gets all the electoral votes in the state. Other states do it proportionally. So if that same kind of thing happens, candidate X wins by 1 vote, and the candidate next to him barely lost, they'll split the electoral votes between the two. And in still other states, it's actually left up to the elector themselves to decide how to vote. Now, that's kind of fucking scary when you think about it, because it literally means that in those states,
Ship computer control transferred.
it's just a handful of people who decide how to vote. So they can completely ignore what the voters actually said and make their own pick. And famously, that happened to Hillary Clinton 4 times in the 2016 election. 4 electors went what's called faithless, where they were supposed to or expected to vote for Clinton, and they voted for Trump instead.
Hyperion.
But so yeah, the electoral college meets, all these dickhead electors get together and they vote, and it's their decision.
Harrier.
It's that vote that determines who actually wins the presidential election. And so yeah, that it's done so that it's done that way so that small states with low populations still get a voice. That's the purpose behind it. And I know it makes it sound crazy, I'm sure, but there is actually a legitimate reason for it. And that turns out not to be the actual problem in this election. The way this election got stolen was ballot tampering and ballot stuffing. So because of COVID, and I think COVID is exactly what enabled this and let them get away with it.
Docking granted. Command accepted.
So people can vote in person by marking up a ballot and putting it in a machine that scans it. Probably 10, Sullivan. So people can vote in person, marking up a ballot, putting it in a scanner. It gets read and counted, and they keep all the ballots. They get put into a bunch of boxes, and there's what's called a chain of custody, so that on paper there's a paper trail of who had the boxes at what time and where they went and that sort of thing. And then there's also mail-in ballots, and that happened a lot because of COVID. And there's we can't people got to mail in their ballots because blah blah blah.
You are being promoted.
What did I do? Ah, cool. Right. So,
Device charging at
how the election was actually stolen. Here's what they did.
20.
There were lots of states where, all the way through the evening, Trump had a decisive lead. Holy shit.
System,
Blech.
Metom's refuge.
He had a decisive lead, sometimes in the range of like 50 to 100,000 votes. Then, elections, and then suddenly the counting was stopped in several of those states, which is very irregular. That's not supposed to ever happen. And when it does happen, that sends up some pretty big red flags, and people are supposed to step in and say, okay, what the fuck? And importantly, there are supposed to be observers from all the political parties in the election centers to witness and observe the count. But they kept locking Republicans out. They wouldn't even let them in to the precincts or the election centers to monitor the counting process. And then what started happening in these same areas where counting was mysteriously stopped for completely innocent reasons, which they never explained, is they would discover, just magically, whole boxes of new ballots from mail-in would be mysteriously found. Isn't that convenient? And wouldn't you know it, every single ballot in those discovered collections were votes for Biden. Every single one. Not one vote for Trump came in on these mysterious boxes that just magically showed up. Is this Terran, you think? Looks like Pirates first. Yeah, it is. Let's watch this. We'll go gather ships later. This is cool. And so they did that in a bunch of different states. And they straight up stole the election. They just widespread voter fraud. And the only people... Hey, don't shoot at me. The only people empowered to order an investigation are the people who won the elections, and, fat chance they're going to do that. So, yeah, it's a total clusterfuck. This is legitimately third world bullshit.
Cargo bay now contains chef octopus.
And, it really bums me out. Because we're deep in the shit now. And you're exactly right. This is how totalitarian governments are formed.
Ship computer control rapier.
No, I don't think Republicans will do anything. They're a bunch of pussies. They never backed up Trump to begin with, and then they turned on him the moment they knew he wasn't going to win re-election. Plus, I don't think the Republicans control Congress anymore. I think the Democrats swept the whole thing. I think they have the House, the Senate, and the presidency now. So, that's it. Yeah, it's the worst I've ever seen. Oh, God, I wouldn't want to... No offense, dude, but I wouldn't want to move to the UK. Remember, the United Kingdom is a place that'll throw you in prison for a year if you teach your dog to hold up its paw.
Rape ship computer control transferred.
Rapier. Let's see.
Command accepted.
Want him to limp his way over here. America's still pretty good, all things considered. We just have a viciously corrupt government and people that are constantly trying to curtail freedoms.
Rapier. Hyperion.
And that's a fight that that never
Octopus.
stops. What do they say? The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. Yeah. What's the guy's name? They decided that Count Dankula. That's the guy. Yeah. He trained his dog to hold up its right paw. And then jokingly, showed it on YouTube and jokingly said, haha, he's doing the Nazi salute. That was all it took. The fucking British government charged him with a hate crime, with hate speech, and convicted him. And they put him in prison. I think it was a 9-month sentence. It's fucking unreal. Yeah, and I think what we're going to start seeing more of is the development and deployment of a separate kind of internet.
Command accepted.
That's not controlled by government. No, I haven't. I don't think I have the money. Let me see what it costs. We'll go look. Almost. They want 37 mil for it. Yeah, so I'm getting there. And I'm gonna sell some of these ships off too, so we're getting there.
Octopus. Hyperion. Octopus.
Oh yeah, get that to the shipyard here.
Command accepted. Docking granted. Command accepted.
I could have sworn they did put him in prison. Because I remember he was offline for a long time, and I'm pretty sure that was by government order or because he was in prison, which was just fucked up. Oh yeah, it definitely will. Game froze up again. My a coworker of mine. I wonder if I mentioned this last weekend. I don't think I did. He's actually done some circuit board design and embedded hardware work. So he's. What's your job? No patrols. So he's got some experience with embedded stuff.
Silicon wafers.
And he has designed and built a prototype for a little self-healing, self-routing wireless mesh network. It doesn't even use TCP/IP. It's I think it's layered 1. It might be layer 2, but the first round device that he made, it was a vlog, okay. But yeah, the first prototype had good battery life and maybe 1 mile range, but he believes he can get it up to 30-mile range for one node to reach other nodes, and a 60-day battery life, which is just incredible. And like I said, it's self-healing, and they can decide on efficient routes based on what they see. Yeah, let's jump to Jupiter to refuel. And so
Charging at 10%. 20.
Yeah, it's basically a wireless P2P
40.
network
50%.
route thing. And
60. 70.
if you're clever enough, you can
90.
you can bridge it to the proper internet and route encrypted traffic over that to bridge individual mesh networks that aren't
Entering system.
that can't physically talk to each other yet.
3. Solar power plant. XL Alpha.
It's really cool, and he's got the blueprints and designs. He's got it open sourced so that plans are public, and so essentially the government can't stop it from being produced or built or deployed. And it uses hardware. Basically, think of it like a SIM card, except it's custom hardware to handle. Basically, you're kind of a MAC address, hardware identified network, your node ID, basically, and that's really it. He thinks he can get 100 megabit performance out of it too. Yeah. Yeah, the United States has really shitty broadband for the most part. I am a lucky son of a bitch because I have probably the best internet access that I've ever had in my life.
Successfully docked.
Greetings, friend. We bid you a heartfelt welcome to this Terran station.
And connection to local trading.
Aw, they love me. No, don't quit. What the hell's wrong with you? Oops, almost slammed into those. Yeah, I get gigabit down and 40 megabit up, which is
Disruptor missile.
practically unheard of in this country. Oops. What's going on with these ships?
What's fighting you? Patching through the information now.
Oh, 100%. No, thank you.
Is there some transmitting information now?
All right.
Ship computer control transferred. Command accepted. Rapier.
But in a lot of places, it's very badly segmented. Yeah, and then that's basically right. You either it's pretty good or it's fucking awful, and your proximity to a large city is pretty much the deciding factor. And yeah, there's talk that Elon Musk is trying to put together a well, he's putting up that low Earth orbit satellite mesh that will supposedly give people basically gigabit speeds anywhere on Earth once it's fully deployed. And, that's only like,
Command accepted.
what did he say, 40,000 satellites that have to be deployed for that to work? He's actually doing it.
Command accepted.
I mean, there are satellites up there for part of that network.
Rapier.
But then, you're back in the position of
Hyperion. Rapier.
being at the mercy of a company. And I think we both know how shitty that can be.
Vacuum granted. Command accepted.
Yeah. It's just horrible.
Disruptor missile.
It's just really fucked up that Cyberpunk was right in predicting a dystopia. Oh, got a Mako. We'll grab that. Ends aren't worth all that much. More ends. Ooh, that's a definite good catch. Holy shitballs, that's a deathball fleet right there. And that's a deathball fleet that's unopposed. Let's go get that other ship in Aladna Hill.
Jump device charged.